I'm Forrest Saunders standing in front of the state capitol. It's likely dead on arrival, but even so, Florida Democrats are going to try to repeal the state's 6-week abortion ban anyway. They filed a bill that would take the state back to viability about 24 weeks. But, of course, all of this is really up to Republicans that have supermajorities in both chambers. For supporters, hopes of repealing Florida's 6-week abortion ban appeared to die at the ballot box in November. Democrats in the Florida House and Senate, however, are going to try again this legislative session.
We are not politicians. We are public servants, and we hear the call of all women.
In a virtual press conference on Wednesday, the group announced SB 870. It's a straightforward repeal of the current 6-week ban on the books, taking Florida back to viability about 24 weeks.
My body, my choice!
That's where the state was before the fall of Roe v. Wade in 2022.
The majority of us, if we become pregnant, will not realize that at 6 weeks. And so the current state of affairs in Florida forces us to make very difficult decisions because of political interference.
With GOP supermajorities in both chambers supportive of the current ban, it'll be almost impossible to get this bill on the governor's desk, let alone his signature.
There you go.
But what's giving these lawmakers hope, about 57% of Floridians supported the effort to return to viability on November 5th. It wasn't the 60% needed, but it was a clear majority.
That's a really big deal. In any other state that had a regular 50% threshold, Amendment 4 would have passed. And so this is something that is on voters' minds. It is important to them. It's a conversation that needs to be had. And you never know where those conversations can lead.
Even so, that voter margin didn't seem to faze top Republican gatekeepers like Senate President Ben Albritton when we spoke shortly after the election.
Do you see a pathway for either of those, maybe recreational marijuana or abortion access, in the upcoming session, given that you had a majority of voters who supported them even through that 60% threshold?
You know, at the end of the day, what happened happened. I'm happy with what happened. They both failed. And as for me, bringing up either of those issues in this body is a no.
And then there's the governor, who was one of the loudest voices against the ban's repeal, calling the amendment too vague and unsafe.
They've gotten 50 in these other states. They need to get 60 here. So this is an opportunity, if this is something that you believe in, that you can really make an impact on.
Regardless of that GOP resistance, the bill is now in the legislative hopper, and its fate in the hands of Republicans, who control what moves and what doesn't.
My body, my choice!
Florida now waits to find out what happens next. And we are really, really close now to the regular session, which starts on March 4th. It's a 60-day lawmaking gauntlet, and at last check, there are more than 840 bills that lawmakers have filed. That list will probably get whittled down to, at most, about 200 new laws. But we'll have to wait and see which ones get the governor's signature. That's the latest out here at the state capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.